Hello everyone. Today let's see how exactly we can solder a PCB using a standard soldering station as well as a standard soldering lead. So it's very important to choose a exact soldering station as well as the soldering lead to make a proper soldering. So this is a PCB which I'll be demonstrating how to solder, and this is a lead. So that when you are going to select a lead, few things that you're supposed to need to take care what kind of lead you are actually selecting. So generally lead, as you can see, there are lead free soldering wires are there which supposed to be used as per the government regulatory, so that it is environment friendly as well as it is healthy. So when you're choosing the lead, the standard grade is actually 60/40. So there are 60/40 grade leads are available in the market, so with the different gauges, so where the diameter of this particular wire will be decided by the gauge. So, and one more thing about this lead is actually it has integrated rosin flux, so that the flux is somewhat we use in soldering to avoid metal oxidation, so which makes a poor connection. So that if I use a flux, it avoids oxidation and you get a very good contact while soldering. So this particular lead has integrated flux in this particular lead free solder wire. So I selected 60/40 grade lead, which with a 0.5 mm thickness diameter. So this particular soldering wire, I'm going to use it to solder this particular PCB. And here I have a soldering station, so it's a professional soldering station. I can adjust the temperature of this particular soldering gun. So what I say soldering gun is actually this particular soldering gun is used to solder this. So the soldering gun will have a tip, so generally you're supposed to take care of this particular tip. So tip should be very clean. So the precaution should be taken while soldering is to maintain the soldering tip very carefully, and it should be very neat, so that it's supposed to avoid the corrosion. So the tip supposed to be always, when after the use, the tip supposed to be covered with the solder lead, so that you can avoid the corrosion. And if your tip is not going to take the soldering, the molten lead, then it might be damaged. So whenever you touch the tip, the molten solder lead supposed to be on the particular on the soldering tip. So you can use a sponge with a little bit of water content in it to wipe out the excessive soldering lead, so that you can clean the tip whenever you need to clean this. So keep the tip of the soldering gun very neat. That is the first precaution supposed to take, and adjust the right temperature for that particular soldering. So generally you will find 300 degrees Celsius. Typically 200 to 300 we can keep the temperature set for better soldering. So let's go to solder this particular board. So here I have a board, so I need not have to use any particular lead to solder this. So don't apply excessive flux over this, it is not necessary here. So you can avoid using flux. So now let me solder this particular board. So I have few connectors on this particular, yes. So now yes, you can see that yes. So now while soldering, you're supposed to keep the solder wire near the contact where you're supposed to solder, and just keep the tip. Don't put any soldering to the tip, you place the soldering tip of the gun near the point where you need to solder, and just put the wire over there, solder wire over there, and it will melt. As it melts, take out. So make sure that the solder has filled all over the circle of the pad, so that you ensure that it is correctly filled in the entire circumference. So as you can see here, so this particular pad, what you can see, this is where you are supposed to insert the soldering. This is the pad area of the PCB where you're supposed to put the soldering lead, and you're supposed to keep the tip here, and so that solder will melt all around this particular area. So don't keep the lead for a long duration on a particular pad, it may damage the pad. So you have to keep it for a moment till the entire lead covers, and keep soldering this. So it won't take much time. So once you solder, if you understand the technique, you can solder it in a faster way. So I have few connectors also here, I'll solder that too, and make sure that you clean the tip after you solder and put it back in the stand. So this is how you can solder in a right way, and as you can see, it has covered all over, so nowhere it is connected with the other pad, so it is perfectly soldered. Thank you.